Let's
He's
be
got
real.
a dream.
Well, yeah. But Sanji's real dream is not actually to find the All Blue. It's the Bang Nami.
Ah, right. I see. Yes,
Hello, everyone.
Welcome, everyone.
Welcome.
Podcast number 115.
That's right.
Indeed.
Yes.
Raise your head with the Twitch Prime for 13 months.
13.
Thank you.
months.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, Ransan, enjoying Legend of the Galactic Heroes, it looks like. Very cool. Very cool.
They've got some dreams in there.
Indeed.
Although I get the feeling, because it's a different show, and a very different kind of show, it might not necessarily go quite as well.
Okay. Munchkini with the tier 1 sub for 4 months. I don't watch or read One Piece. Just came to keep the stream alive.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
awesome,
you,
Munchkini.
Yes.
You're amazing.
When does a
Thank
stream
you.
die? When there's no one in chat? When mods have to ban too many people for spoilers? No. It is when it is forgotten.
A streamer only dies when he forgets to engage with Twitch chat.
That's right.
That's right.
It only dies when you forget to have it be downloaded and then it goes off after the 2-month thing for Twitch or whatever. When the VOD gets deleted. Exactly. Yes.
Jacob's shirt is messed up. Well, the thing is that, like, in some ways, a dream brought about this shirt
Indeed.
and the story reference
That shirt
herein.
never stops being horrible. That's why I wear it. That's why I
The
wear
stream only dies when OBS dies.
it.
You're right.
Because I have a dream that one day, everyone will know this shirt. Everyone will know the trauma that transpired in that episode.
Clearly. Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed.
Shirt about teamwork. Yes.
YX Casuals bring up a very good point. A One Piece podcast. Maybe a couple hundred head chapters too soon, but I'll take it.
Or
Yes.
is it right on time because One Piece is so massive that, let's be real, we'll probably have to do a couple more. But
Yeah, I think if anything, it's overdue for a podcast with regards to One Piece, because One Piece as a manga, as we've consumed, a good chunk of it, a fair chunk of
about
it,
a quarter.
a quarter,
Of the 50% or whatever it is.
presently,
Yeah, what's out right now.
available stuff.
Yep.
What I've come to appreciate about it is that all the characters share this unique thing about their backstories, and that is that they all have a dream, and that is the entire crux of their character, really.
Yes.
Just encapsulated in that. And we're going to be discussing that here.
Indeed.
So be sure to make sure to not do any spoilers in chat with regards
That's
to One
right.
Piece, or the
Otherwise,
mods will ban
Usopp's
you
hammer, Usopp's
faster
hammer.
than Usopp's hammer could be thrown your way. Yes.
Yeah.
Mods, you have full power.
And slightly off topic, but Ransan, one day Jacob will stream Yakuza in 16.9. That has been fixed. I did a test stream to make sure that it was fixed, and it will be in 16:9 this Thursday.
Yes.
You can count on that.
All right. We got to give our VIP shout out to one of our newest patrons. We have Boy. Just Boy. Boy.
Yeah.
Boy, thank you for joining the Discord. Welcome,
Yes.
welcome to the SOS Brigade on there, and looking forward to seeing you on the VIP calls.
Indeed. Now, are
At
you
the end
sure
of
the
month here.
username is not Boy on Discord?
It's just Boy.
Oh, it's just Boy.
It's just
Yeah.
Boy.
Boy.
This
Good
boy. This boy.
Yes.
This boy is a good boy. Thank you, boy.
Oh, boy.
All right. People freaking out about 16:9 ratios and stuff. What have you been doing in OBS that messed up that?
Caleb, let me tell you. Let me tell you. I think it all started with me trying to get freaking Stanley Parable to work.
So
But
you,
that
instead
couldn't
of
be it, 'cause then Ori
Googling the
would've been-
solution, you just started tinkering in
I did
OBS.
plenty of Googling, but also I did some other things too. And now it is all completely fixed. But yeah.
Jacob quit Stanley Parable because he couldn't fix the resolution.
Oh, God. No.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yes, Usopp's hammer. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man. Gaius 1000, thank you so much for extending your sub to March.
Yes.
Wow, how does that work? That is
I have
ridiculous.
no
I've never
idea.
seen that notification on
Me neither.
Twitch before. That's pretty
But that's really
ridiculous.
cool.
Yeah. All right, and we are ready to go. Let's turn off that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, One Piece.
One
So,
Piece.
Jacob,
Yes.
One Piece's
Brother.
main cast
Mm-hmm.
is relatively, I would say, small considering the scale of the overall, cast and story and world as a whole, right?
Sure.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I would say one of the things that is important with that is that these characters all feel rather personal in the midst of this very grand scale, world and
Right.
perspective of everything there. And the way I think they do that best is by communicating in their backstories how much of their character is defined by their dream.
Yeah. And even if it's something that, like, maybe doesn't feel like it has as much of a tie into
Pressing
present
relevance.
Yeah, pressing relevance with the present day. Like
Yeah.
my joke with Sanji, his real dream being to bang Nami, right?
Right.
Or
Yes.
Nami wanting to map out the whole world. That might not be something that comes into play every chapter, right?
Mhm.
But it's something that you can tell drives them.
Yep.
Right? It's the reason that they're there. It's the reason that they're in this Straw Hat crew,
Mhm.
and without it, the whole thing would kind of fall apart.
Yeah.
And we've shit talked long running Battle Shonen plenty.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And the reason why One Piece works so well,
One,
is
we're doing the manga.
we're doing the manga, which does help a lot, you know,
Yeah.
as far as pacing goes. But as far as just a story that you really could have go on for pretty much forever. Like
Yeah.
we know that Oda has a plan to finish it. The One
Mhm.
Piece is not just the friends we made along the way, but the fact that it's able to go on this long
Mhm.
is because of that adherence to the idea of the dream, right? It means that they could go anywhere. They could go to some little island, right? And
Yep.
and have this wonderful little, more or less self-contained story that might build up the world and all that stuff even more, and have characters and whatnot. But it's really the dream that
Mhm.
that makes it have that heart, that makes it so that I don't know if I could ever really get tired of One Piece as long as they keep that up. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. It's really something.
Yeah, one of the other things that's really powerful about each of these characters, at least specifically with, I would say, the characters that are added in after Luffy, is that they all have their dreams somewhat being tied very closely to a loved one, someone that's very, very close to them. Like, I'm talking family or essentially family.
Mhm.
Someone that either shares the dream, someone that gave them the dream, someone that passed on the dream to them as
Mhm.
like I can't do this anymore, maybe you can do it.
Mhm.
Or a dream that someone else had and the other person was like, I'm going to take that
Yeah.
and embody that as part of my own. But it's
Mhm.
always within this connection of relationships.
Yeah.
Luffy does it too with Shanks. Yes. The thing is, though, is that I'm pretty sure Shanks doesn't want to be Pirate King.
Right, and in
Like-
fact, he kind of laughed when
Yeah.
Luffy was saying, "I'm going to be king of the pirates." But the thing is
Yeah.
that he. Okay, so Luffy's dream of "I'm going to be king of the pirates," I would say that's the dream in its specific state,
Yeah.
right? But that's not actually where it started. The whole dream of the idea of being a pirate, that being a
Exactly.
pirate should be something good and wonderful, right?
Mhm.
The idea of the freedom that comes with that and all of that. That was something that he very much got from Shanks.
Yeah.
Right? Shanks personified that so
Yeah.
well, right?
Yeah.
And like, have we even seen Shanks since then? Like, not really.
Nope.
Like, I mean,
Nope.
I hope I'm not forgetting any moments.
Well,
but
okay, so we did see him, but he wasn't with the crew.
right, exactly.
Right. We
yeah.
saw him concurrently in the side doing his own thing.
Right.
But I meant that the characters.
Yeah, the
haven't
cast,
seen-
like Luffy hasn't seen him again, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was when we bumped into to Mihawk and all of them,
Mm-hmm.
and Mihawk just kind of encounters
Yeah, and it was
them
building
then
up like the
leaves.
7 Warlords of the Sea and all that stuff and
Yeah.
whatnot. But the thing is, we don't really need to touch base with Shanks,
Mhm.
at least for a long time, right? Or rather, no, we don't need to. We want to, and I'm guessing it will happen at some point.
Oh, it's
eventually.
definitely going to happen.
It's definitely going to happen, and it's going to be fantastic.
Mhm.
But we don't need to,
Right.
Right, because his presence can be felt in every time Luffy smiles.
Right, and there's a specific point, and I would say part to the formula of every single one of these characters, and the character that they connected to with the dream is that they all leave them. They all specifically leave
Mhm.
the connection with that character in order to go after their dream. And this is something that I find to be very enticing about these characters. One, that all their dreams are different.
Yes.
None of them share even a remotely crossover aspect of their dream other than Usopp and Zoro. But even then, their thing is more about, like, Zoro's is specifically like his sword. Like, he has such a hard-on for his swords that it's like swordsman. And Usopp wanting to be a brave warrior of the sea.
Usopp's wanting a personal development and growth, whereas Zoro's wanting a concrete, I want to be able to fight this good.
I want to fight the best swordsmen and beat them. It's specifically very limited in its dream scope. Whereas Usopp's is unlimited in that his has no specific hard designated, I want to be the bravest warrior of the sea.
And yet
he just wants to lose in some ways his old self of having a little bit of a cowardice streak, and become a brave warrior of the sea.
And then that was exemplified with the Warriors of Elbaf, and then they were even able to give some more specificity of like a concrete thing that he can do and say, this is my goal, right? But the idea that they have different dreams means that it's, because oftentimes I feel like, and especially with the whole idea of dreams and everything, but there's this notion that can come up of, we have to all be the same kind of in order to all be together. Right? And just in the same way that the characters are all vastly different from each other, right? In the way they're drawn, the way they talk, the way they think, they have very different dreams.
They have very different voices.
They have very different voices.
Pun intended. But like specifically with their characters, when you see them talking in the manga, you hear them, you go, oh, that's Sanji, or that's Luffy.
And the thing is that's something that makes it really powerful, because then it's the idea that they all have these dreams and they can all encourage each other and be with each other in the pursuit of these dreams, even if their dreams might end up eventually leading them down separate paths, right? Hopefully not, and I'm sure they'll be able to find ways to stick together, but theoretically that could happen and that would be okay. Right? And that's something that I feel like it touches on something very deep in all of us, because we all have those dreams, even if maybe we don't have them as much anymore. Maybe they died out. Maybe they're sleeping right now. We don't think about it too much, right? Because of the demands of life and all of that stuff. But deep down, what would we want more than to pursue our dream, and to be pursuing our dream with other people that are also going after their dreams?
And another thing with this is that we all want our dreams to be something that other people help and support us in. We don't necessarily just want to do our dream alone. One of the things that's wonderful about Luffy as a character, and people have told me he's never lost an anime popularity poll for One Piece, the reason why is because he is the spearhead, the tip of the iceberg, so to speak, for the Going Merry's crew of, hey, we're all dreamers going after something, and I'm just the biggest, loudest, dumbest idiot of us all, championing on somewhat impossible dreams. Now, this is the other thing I wanted to bring up with all the dreams here. All of them are kinda not really possible. They have that little aspect of implausibility. Now, some of them are very like vague, so you could say that they've already gotten their dreams. Like, I like how Usopp's is in some ways the most unique, in that his is to be a brave warrior of the sea.
And he already is.
And he already kinda is. He shows moments of cowardice still. Or you could say tactical retreating. He's just learned from the Joestars. That's all it is.
Exactly.
You know?
He knows how weak he is. But that's where, the true bravery can shine.
And then there's other ones that are super specific, but they might not even be possible at all because they might not be based in reality. Like Sanji's to find the All Blue. That's a very limited dream. It's like, once you found it, you found it. Okay, that'd be great. But we don't even know if it's real.
Well, and
so that's its own thing. Then you have characters whose specific dream is one that they don't even know if they're actually capable of. Like Zoro's, to become the world's greatest swordsman. He is not the strongest person in the world.
No, not by a long shot.
He's not even a good swordsman when compared to Mihawk. Like, Mihawk laughed at him, basically. Well, I mean, Mihawk's a gentleman.
He took him seriously and all that stuff. But the idea is that everyone has these goals that are basically impossible. And here's another thing that I would say. And listen to what I really mean when I say this. In a lot of ways, they're kind of pointless. They don't really matter all that much in any kind of objective grand scheme of things, but they matter to the individual, right? it really means something to Usopp that he has to be that brave warrior of the sea.
Mhm.
Nami really desperately wants to map out all the oceans out there, right?
Yep.
Luffy wants to be king of the pirates. He needs to be king of the pirates.
Yep.
That's something where, because it's so easy to say, like, and I'm sure we've all had this before when we were
Yeah.
kids or whatever, where
I'm
adults
sure
would be
so,
like,
yeah.
your dreams are stupid,
Yep.
right? Your dreams are stupid.
Your dreams are stupid and you're stupid.
Yeah.
That's
And
the
so what?
UPW abridged.
Yeah. Your dreams are stupid. You're stupid. Yeah. But so what? You know, just
Yeah.
because you're correct doesn't mean you're right.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if it's stupid to you, it's not your dream. It's
Yes,
mine.
exactly.
And to me, it's everything.
Right. And this is the other point about this dream, because I wanted to bring up Chopper's dream, and someone brought it up here, and this is really good. Chopper's is actually probably... technically, it might literally be impossible, because the nature of
Mhm.
certain diseases is that they don't remain the same, so you can't really
Right.
cure them. And him wanting to become a great doctor, or the greatest doctor, depending on how you look at it, okay, sure, that's like Zoro's dream. It's attainable, but it's a competitive one that you'd have to find all the doctors in the world and make sure that none of them are, better than you. But Chopper's dream, specifically since he was the most recent addition to the crew, you can see why his dream is tied specifically, to this prefaced bit of to become the greatest doctor that can cure any disease.
Mm-hmm.
And then you think of Hiraluk.
Right.
And you think of where his dad,
Yep.
Because
he is his dad. Because
sent him
Chopper
off
is my son. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that was probably one of the most moving moments in One Piece so far. I freaking love Hiraluk and that little bit of that arc.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of my favorite moments in the whole manga. I don't think there's anything that beats it, but there are a couple things that come close.
For me personally, it's
Yeah.
just the equivalent, but with Nami, where it's
Yeah.
I won't say that those two girls aren't my daughters.
Yep.
You know?
That moment was that's a very, very close contender as well.
And the thing is that like this whole idea of the dream and pursuing it, even though it might be stupid, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not stupid to you. The confidence and the determination, or at least the decision to go after it wholeheartedly, right? No matter what it is, isn't that something we all would love to have? Right? Yeah. And maybe it only works in something like One Piece to this level because there are things that we need to, we need to make sure that we have food and, a warm place to sleep, hopefully, so that way we can survive, right? To keep, going after our dream. But wouldn't it be great?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be great?
Yeah.
To be on the high seas and to know that the only thing that really mattered was finding your dream, was going after your dream. And there were other people you would come across that had their own dreams. And you know what? Because it's not just about your dream, but it's about the idea of dreaming. That whenever you see someone that has a dream, and maybe they're having trouble with it, maybe they don't believe they can go after it, maybe they're, they're whatever it is. Yeah, Luffy doesn't even need to hear your backstory. He'll help you. Yeah. Because that's what it's all about.
Yep. Oh, it's really good stuff, y'all. So let's go over the dreams real quick. Luffy's is to become the king of the pirates.
Yep.
He got that dream in a lot of ways from red-haired Shanks.
Yep.
Because he wanted to surpass him, Zoro wants to become the world's greatest swordsman, and he kind of shares that dream in a lot of ways because of his connection to Kuina. That's where a lot of it came from. Nami wants to map the entire world, and she got a lot of the, modus operandi for that dream from her sister Nojiko. Then we have Usopp, who wants to be a brave warrior of the sea, and we have that from his father Yasop. And then we have Sanji, who wants to find the All Blue, and that was one that he took on from old man Zeph. Yeah.
Yep.
And we have Chopper, who wants to become the greatest doctor and cure any disease, and he got that from Hiraluk.
Right.
And all these characters have varying levels of difficulties and struggles that we can look forward to
Sure.
them overcoming or just struggling with in their journey ahead. But
Mhm.
here's what's important. Regardless of when they get to their dream or if they actually, succeed in, fulfilling their dream,
Mhm.
their dream pushes them forward on a very long journey.
Yeah.
And we, as the audience, are excited to see them go on said journey. But the reason why I think a lot of people are saying that the real, point of One Piece was the friends we made along the way as kind of a joke, because of how long One Piece has gone on,
Yeah.
right? Is because the dreams that they have are not, ever presently relevant in their dialogue, mini stories, little side arcs, what have you. Because you don't see Sanji constantly bring up, I have to find the All Blue.
Well, that's why I think it's to bang Nami, because it's constantly like, Nami this, Nami that.
And while we see them acting in their roles and in their functions of Zoro fighting with his swords, Nami doing navigator stuff,
Yep.
Chopper being the healer of the party, God
Usopp
damn it,
being
everyone.
a brave warrior of the sea.
Usopp swinging his hammer as wildly as he can, giving it his all.
Man.
But the thing is that it's not about whether or not they're going to fulfill their dream. Their dream pushes them onward, and the thing that keeps them from giving up are the people sitting next to them, the people standing next to them,
Yep.
the people that then go, hey, I don't have the slightest interest in being a swordsman, Zoro.
Yeah.
But you go for it. You keep going forward with this. This is not going to be just a simple, a simple journey for you. You've got so much more to go. Let's keep this going.
And if you ever have
I'm excited for that.
And if you ever have a point where you have to just, with tears in your eyes, say, Luffy, please help, then yeah, of course they'll all be there for you.
Yeah.
Of course they will.
Yeah.
So, but wouldn't Sanji just want to bang any girl? Well, yes. Yeah. But he set his sights on Nami, I guess.
Yeah, guys, we understand that the friends we made along the way, Nakama thing, is a joke.
Right, but
it's actually kind of not thematically.
Right, because if you think about it, okay, One Piece started with finding the One Piece, all that stuff, right? And for Luffy, I would say that actually has some real relevance to his dream, right?
Yeah.
Becoming the Pirate King and whatnot. For everyone else, though, not really. For everyone else, the One Piece might as well be the friends we made along the way.
Yeah.
And it's a cheesy thing to say, right? And of course it's not going to be that because Oda set it up so specifically and said, no, it's not that, right? And Luffy does need to find the One Piece.
Yeah.
But for everyone else, might as well be.
Yeah. Yeah. What's kind of exciting about having these characters also start to put others ahead of themselves in this, it shows that in a lot of ways their characters were ones born of connection to a character. So the actual thing that was most important to them originally was the connection, not the dream. The dream was something that was just born out of said connection. So in some ways they all have a completely new dream now because they're all together. And the dream they have that they're all together is just to go on this wild journey together.
Yeah, in a lot of ways,
that's the genius of it.
In a lot of ways, I feel like while they had their dream beforehand, right? Each of them in their own way. I feel like the dream almost didn't even really become real to them until they met each other.
Yeah.
Right? And it did. They because they're young and all that stuff, and they had those moments where they would give that big smile and state what their dream was. Right.
Yep.
But Sanji, he kind of forgot about his dream. He wasn't trying to find the All Blue. No, he was happy.
Yeah.
But he was there.
Yeah.
Zoro, I'm sure he hadn't forgotten his dream. He was he was lost.
He was detained.
He was lost. Yeah. He was he didn't know where to go. Right. like let's be real. Let's be real. Nami?
Yeah, Zoro literally could never have fulfilled his dream if he didn't pair up with at least Nami.
Right.
At least Nami.
And Usopp, yeah, he wanted to be a brave warrior of the sea.
Right.
But I don't think he ever would have really thought that that was possible.
Mm-hmm.
He would have just been like, yeah, I'll be satisfied with being a brave warrior of the sea in my own mind. You know, yelling out, the pirates are coming, right? And that he probably would have been okay with that. What if there was more? And that's why joined up with the Going Merry, right? That's why they all did.
Yeah.
So
it's so good. So good. I also like that specifically with Chopper's dream, his was probably one of the ones that I emotionally kind of had the most like kind of visceral kind of reaction to, was that there were other characters who were doing what they could to try and stifle his dream. And yet a lot of the other characters in this story didn't really know about their dreams.
Right.
Chopper's was one that he kind of needed in order to kind of get people to be willing to trust him, or be willing to even kind of give him the time of day, like to give him that, hey, yeah, you're wanting to help people, you're wanting to be a doctor, you wanted to do these things. Yeah, it's something where maybe it's him being misunderstood, but I loved the way Dr. Kureha was instrumental in getting him to move so that he'd be able to actually fulfill his dream. Because in some ways, every one of these characters did it a little bit, but I think Chopper, Usopp maybe is probably the next best example, and Nami is probably probably even better than Usopp. Actually, they cut themselves off intentionally from being able to fulfill their dreams via things that they were stuck in, and they didn't need to be saved or rescued necessarily, but they needed to have someone step in and
remind them,
and give them a reminder, but basically give them a path that has kind of an open sea in front of them. Hey,
right,
I can't fulfill your dream for you, but if you come on this voyage with me, maybe you'll have a shot. Because I like that they're not demanding of Luffy. Sorry, I'm sorry, but I like that they're not demanding of Luffy that he help them fulfill their dream now.
Yeah,
there's a lot of things I've seen in D&D parties and kind of this whole group dynamic thing of, only reason I'm here is because I need to kill my uncle who slaughtered my whole village, that kind of thing of, I'm here, but I need to remind you all of my motivations so that you make sure that I get what I want.
And let's be real, that's not a dream, that's a goal.
Yeah.
Nami had a goal when she started.
Yeah, 100 million berries,
so I can buy my island, right?
Yep.
Save my village, right?
Yep.
That's a goal.
That is a goal.
That's a goal. She was doing it for the sake of survival of her and
her family
and all that stuff.
Yep.
She was doing that so that she could maintain the status quo.
Yep.
Which is good. It's that's a really good goal, right? But that's not a dream.
Yeah.
Because a dream is about going for something more. Something crazy enough to be crazy, right? Otherwise, is it really a dream? The killing the uncle thing, right? It's a classic, I need to get revenge on this person who wronged me kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But the reason I think we don't see any of those in One Piece is because they're too small.
Yeah.
They're too small, and it's
way too small-minded.
And it's not coming from a place of what you want. It's in response to something else.
Yep.
Nami's whole thing of trying to save her island, that was in response to Arlong, right? She was a captive of Arlong. She wasn't really free, right? And that's why she didn't smile. That's why she didn't smile during that arc, right? And when she did at the end, it was such a big deal.
Yep. That's a great point, though. All these dreams are based off proactive, emotionally led ideals. There's something that's rather interesting about this is that most of the people involved in this, I would say there's some variation within this, and I like that there is a little bit of variance between the dream structure and that they are different. These are crazy things that each of them want individually. This is something that wasn't, I would say, this wasn't something I would say thrust upon them. Even for the ones where they took the dream from someone else, those were ones where they willingly took the dream, because in some ways the character that they took them from resisted in some ways them being able to do the dream. Like, even in some ways like Hero Luke.
Oh.
Because in order to fulfill this dream, Chopper needed to leave.
Yeah, and right, it's something where there's this wonderful microcosm of the hero's journey within each of the characters, even with the antagonists in a lot of ways, which is scary.
Oh, we're gonna get into that
because they have dreams.
We're gonna get into that.
They've got dreams too. But the idea that each of them had to leave and strike out on their own, and in a lot of cases they weren't actually comfortable with doing that, right? Quina had to take a bad spill on the staircase, right? like
Jacob.
I know.
Oh my god.
I know. I'm a terrible person, but what do you expect? I'm wearing this shirt. So, but there's these things where Jesus, dream versus stairs. Damn, Jacob. But
you started this.
I did.
I
did.
Can't stop laughing.
Oh man. but the thing is that none of us would go after our dream, not really, without some crazy push. Because the thing is that by the very nature of dreams, it's something that's so out there. We know it's crazy. That's why we don't go after it.
Yeah. That's
why we don't go after it. If we went after it normally, it wouldn't be that crazy, and we wouldn't value it that much, would we? Right?
Yeah.
So then when these things come along that test our mettle, that break us and push us out there so that, that's all we really have, right? Then that's something where it can really be called a hero's journey. And One Piece understands that. Oda understands that. And I would have loved to sit in on the conversations between Oda and his editor as they're figuring out not just the mechanics of what exactly they're going to do, but why they're doing it, right?
Yeah.
And how much of a focus that was. Because it's so pervasive throughout everything. It couldn't not have been one of the driving factors in all of their conversations.
Yeah. Y'all memeing about stairs now.
Yeah.
But let's bring
I'm sorry. Not sorry, really, but yeah.
But let's bring up the fact that a lot of the villains, especially the primary villains of each kind of mini arc sort of setup, they have dreams.
Right.
But it's somewhat a little bit blended with goals.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, this is obvious to any villain out there ever. If they're going to be an actual legitimate villain, they have to have a goal.
Right. Because even for the horrible people, it's hard to
resist the allure of a dream.
To resist the allure of a dream when it's a real dream, even if the way they're going about it is all wrong, right?
Right.
And usually when the villains are defeated, it's because they realize that their dream isn't a dream, it's a goal.
Yep.
Right? They just want to do a thing. And that's not quite enough. Certainly not when the rubber meets the road and they get the actual crazy resistance of Luffy and his whack band of pirates, right?
One of the other things that I found that's rather interesting, especially as we're going more into Crocodile, Crocodile is the perfect example of where his was definitely a goal, but there was a little bit of a dream in there.
Because it was pretty ridiculously big and impossible.
Yeah, but here's what's exciting about a lot of these characters when you start to peel back their dream and realize where it's actually a goal. These villains sometimes end up attracting people, followers, because of their dream, because of their specific thing that they're going after being something where characters, they end up being like the Luffy of their own story. They have a lot of problems that lead to them actually, in the end, pushing away almost all of their companions or what have you.
Sure.
And then they...
and then they lose alone.
They falter. They lose alone.
Yep.
See how that's kind of like repeated so far? And we've only done so few arcs?
Buggy, Arlong, Crocodile, like...
what was the
King,
Wapple.
Yeah. But like, especially with Crocodile, like in this last volume, it was exemplified pretty well. Miss All Sunday. She's badass and super powerful. She absolutely could have helped things go so much better. And granted, she had her own goals.
Yeah.
But, if they were really working together, maybe Crocodile wouldn't have had his face beaten in by Luffy so many times by now, Yeah,
Kuro.
Captain Kuro.
That's right,
Yeah.
Captain Kuro. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, his is about as goal as it can get.
Yeah.
Now, there's a dream aspect of he wants to,
He wants to have
disappear
peaceful,
and have it be like
quiet
done
life.
perfectly. But yeah, he really doesn't want anything, which is
Mhm.
understandable and in some ways, more impressive or just as impressive as some of the other villain goals out there, right?
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Captain Kuro is the 401k.
The editors pushed Oda to speed up the pacing in order to reach the Grand Line as soon as possible. Oda was the one who wanted to focus on every Straw Hat story because, in his words, not everyone just suddenly decides to become a pirate.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
That's
yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe this is why Zoro is so bad at directions. He unconsciously avoids stairs.
Oh, wow. That's Yep.
Yep. Stand users attract other stand users. Yes. So we have all these villains
Mhm.
that have so far been defeated quite soundly by the Straw Hats, and yet all of them were they all had people around them. They all had a crew. They all
Mhm.
had a family of some kind of or what have you. Even if they were under some really like freaky philosophies regarding
Right.
like Arlong,
Mm-hmm.
you still notice that they had their band,
Mm-hmm.
but they're all defeated at the end alone, and in a lot of ways having pushed away all of those people that were
Right.
riding alongside them. That
And only once and only once they're alone can they be defeated. Like you
Mhm.
could say it's just a storytelling, mechanic
Shonen.
of get rid of the ads first before the final boss or whatever, right?
So our main character can give them a
Right. Yeah, exactly.
a grand punch.
Yeah, but what if there was more to it?
What if there was?
Like maybe that's the reason why that storytelling trope exists, is because it communicates that kind of, even if it doesn't communicate it emphatically or out there in a,
like
in a
literally or
concrete way.
overtly.
Right.
Yeah.
But the idea that it follows that theme, and the whole idea of the villain with their squad being better than the heroes, and then the heroes have to adapt or whatever, and then eventually they're able to win.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's
Yeah. Yeah, what about Kobe? Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, Kobe
freaking
was fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's still doing his dream. Him and
Yep.
Helmeppo, they're still working away and plugging away.
Ah.
Yeah. Like it's like before we got into One Piece, right? I had a feeling I was going to enjoy it. Like this is like it's One Piece, right?
Right.
It's this popular for a reason. It's lasted
Yeah.
this long for a very good reason, even if I don't know what it is, right?
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I never would have expected that there was this much heart
Yeah.
and depth to it, even while being as simple as it is. Like, yeah, that hat.
This
That
hat is ridiculous.
Yep.
I can't tell whether or not it's better to just go blah or
I don't
to
know.
go like full Luffy style and just kind of.
That might
Have
be
it be
better.
here?
I'm not sure.
This might be better.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, chat. Y'all can decide on that. So we have our main 6 characters right now.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that's exciting about the future of One Piece is as we get into more conflicts and what have you, certain characters will probably get more spotlight than others. I mean, I'm sure Oda is going to get better and better at balancing the cast out and giving them each a thing to do.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much just a typical thing he'll have to do if he wants to have a successful manga. But spoiler alert, it's already super successful. So we know that at the very least that all this is doing rather well. But in order to actually develop these dreams and not have them be a thing where he mentions them in a backstory and then 700 chapters later, now it's succeeded. We've suddenly found the All Blue all of a sudden. What you can do here and what's exciting here is you can have conflicts come up that weigh the dream of one character against the dream of another.
Sure.
Like, y'all, you realize one of the best things about having 6 characters all on a boat going one direction and having 6 different dreams means that they all kind of want to go in sort of 6 different directions. Now, here's the thing. Luffy's dream being the Pirate King, and why that's actually a genius dream, even though it's probably been ripped off to death since One Piece.
Sure. And
I
in a
think
lot
it
of
has
ways,
in a lot of ways,
One Piece, I'm sure, wasn't the first one to do the boy, that comes
wants to
from
be
a little village and wants to be King Hokage, even though Naruto was after, or, the
greatest of a thing.
The greatest of a thing and the super important person, in the world, right?
Whatever.
Yeah.
The thing is that when Luffy succeeds in this dream, I think a lot of them are going to succeed in their dream.
Yep.
But still, there are times where they could in the future have things where it's like, oh, if we go here, we can help Zoro fulfill his dream. Sure. But if we go over here, we could help Sanji fulfill his dream.
Because it's a beach paradise and he might be able to sweet talk Nami there.
But just think about that. We have built-in mechanics into the story where the characters can have conflict with each other and then overcome it as they realize what's more important even than their dream is the connection that they share as a pirate crew.
Well,
like,
and
it's
what's
all
great
there.
is that at the same time, there's a setup in the world, literally in the actual world, plot rails for them to just be like, all right, cool, keep going on the Grand Line.
Yes, but they'll probably at some point have options as to where they're going to go.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, we read One Piece manga volume by volume once a week, every week on Tuesdays.
Right. So tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Boom.
Be there for that.
Be there.
Yeah. Usopp's Pirate Gallery. That's another point. In One Piece, the stakes never have to escalate to being about the world. They can just be dreams again and again.
Exactly. Yep. And that's fantastic because then they can okay. So one, the conflict just generally works better when you have it be about dreams and you have it be personal and all that stuff, right?
Yep.
Because the world building can be kind of arbitrary, right? Who's to say that the world needs to be this way? The author's just deciding for it to be that way. So how does our investment come in, right?
Right.
But by doing that, by making it be consistently about dreams, then the world, okay, it may be arbitrary, but does that matter?
Yeah.
Right? Because, yeah, he's making a world, but it's not really about the world. The world is just what these characters live in, right?
Yeah.
It's the backdrop for all their dreams to be made manifest in the conflict. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and all these little things that they add in can get filtered through the lens of their dream and be why they're actually interested in engaging with it. Like when Usopp sees the big giants,
right? He
goes, yeah, I want to be like them.
Yeah, warrior of Elbaf.
Yeah, those are a picture perfect example of great warriors. Yeah,
yep.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have what would be another great example of this? I would say Luffy's actually a pretty good example of this. Because he's constantly bumping into, pretty incredible pirates or pretty incredible people like that. And yeah, he's boldly declaring every once in a while that he wants to be the Pirate King. And they're just, like, we'll laugh at him. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like little things get dropped that are world building, where we then as the viewer get more engaged with the world because it ties back into the dream, and having those little things where we're like, oh, okay. All right, I actually want to engage in that little seemingly meaningless but potentially important little bit of world building there. So I think
well said, Bray. Ultimately, the world building is just a means to an end.
Yep.
And that's why we can get so excited for it, because we know it's serving a purpose that is not self-contained, right? It's always going to come back to these characters that we know and love so much.
We read one volume per week.
One volume per week. The next volume is volume 23, which is the last volume in the first box set. Kind of crazy milestone.
Yep. What was it?
Which Straw Hat gag do you like the best? I like Chopper, the way he wants to hide, but always the wrong way.
I don't know which gag I like the best.
It would... Okay, Zoro getting lost is
I like
really
Greedy
funny.
Nami the best.
Greedy Nami's good. Personally, I love Usopp with the fact that he can't fight, but gets put in all these situations where he has to fight, and then he does dumb shit to try and finagle his way through it.
He
right?
Josephs his way out of it.
Yep,
somehow.
and he usually breaks like every bone in his body, right? Like I'm convinced that he basically gives Zoro endurance lessons. Like, okay, now we're gonna go do this.
Yep. Luffy was quite comfortable letting Zoro fight Mihawk then and there, despite already being busy with a lot of stuff because it was his dream. Oh, that's
Sure.
a good point. That's a good point, Sarkonia. Yeah.
All of Usopp, obviously. Jacob likes Usopp because he's a sniper kind of character. Let's be real.
That's partially true. Yeah. Next volume has the Horikoshi fan art that he sent to Usopp's gallery. What?
Oh.
How old was Horikoshi back then?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Again, dreams.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Usopp constantly doing something dumb in the background of panels never fails to amuse me. Yeah. I like Greedy Nami because her cons are cool and elaborate at times. Yeah, I think the thing I like about Greedy Nami is that she actually thinks rationally when she's in her greedy thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the instigator party member who generates conflict that's obviously going to not work.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, Nami is scheming. And she could actually succeed at this if it wasn't for these bumbling idiots that she has to deal with all around her, ruining the whole thing.
Yep.
So, yeah, great point. What do you think the use of comedy in fights? It straddles a very fine line. Well, apparently we now know what you think about it.
Well, I think it's a jump rope, and it's fantastic.
I love that I don't have to take the fights in One Piece as seriously most of the time.
Well, yeah, I mean, in a lot of ways, you almost never have to take the fights seriously.
Right.
The context and the ramifications and the consequences, those are oftentimes very serious.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're not. But most of the time, those are very serious. But as far as the fights themselves, it's Luffy bouncing around and people being frustrated with the fact that they can't, properly get a hold on him, or, and stuff like that, right? It's Zoro picking up a building. Is that badass? Yes, absolutely. It's also absolutely ridiculous, right? Like that kind of stuff. Oh, I love it because it adds to the idea that this is whimsical. This is an adventure, right?
Yep.
Who's to say what's possible?
Right.
Who's to say?
Tyler Presley and OKC98, thank you so much for the follows. What did you think of Luffy having lost 2 times now against Crocodile?
Wonderful.
Yeah, let our main character lose a lot.
The main thing that I love about it, though, is not that he lost twice. It was that the first time he lost, everyone was like, no, don't believe it. It's impossible, right? They've built up this unbelievable trust in Luffy, and it's wonderful to see.
Yep.
Then he comes back and he says, with his ridiculous, water gun backpack and everything, and he's like, this time I'm gonna clobber you for real, right? I'm not gonna lose no matter what. Proceeds to lose, right? That was something that I really liked because One Piece is all about dreams, and our protagonist said something with all the motivation in the world behind it and an actual technical plan, as ridiculous as it was, right? As goofy as it was. And oh no, that didn't work.
It didn't work.
That didn't work. Like that was great. I loved that. God damn it. Yeah.
The Horikoshi art isn't in the American release until it's brought up in the SBS.
Gotcha.
Okay. Good to know.
I can't believe Usopp is responsible for MHA. Who would have thought? Can you even think of a single fight that hasn't had at least a little humor in it?
What was a really depressing fight? Like, sad, because we knew someone was going to lose.
No, I know. I think I know what it is.
What was it?
Arlong versus Mom.
Yeah.
I forget.
That's not a fight, though.
Yeah, it's an execution.
That's an execution.
Well, but she does put up a fight. She does put up a fight, but
yeah, it's pretty much an execution.
Yeah. Fight. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Zoro versus Mihawk, sure. That tiny little dagger blade, that was all the comedy we needed.
Yep. Especially because usually the whole thing of with swordsman being badass swordsman, and they're all hard for that, right? You know, and the idea of their sword and what their sword might be, you know, a metaphor for. Mm-hmm. And then Mihawk's like, I'll beat you with this tiny little thing.
Yep.
It was great.
Yeah. The tiny knife was super serious. What do you mean?
I mean, yes, but also no.
Well, yes, but actually no.
Yeah.
Yeah. The cat brother fight. Yeah, maybe that was just cringe, you know?
It's more about humiliating Zoro than about joking him. Well, yes, no, I totally get that. But for us, for Zoro, it's not a joke. For us, the audience, oh, I will definitely laugh.
Right. Yeah. And we understand that it's Mihawk being so ridiculously strong that he's like,
yeah,
for you, I just need this little puny dagger. Ting, and then
Mihawk is serious about holding back, and yet he says, sadly, I don't have any blades shorter than this. If I had something smaller, I would use it.
If that's not comedy, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, you don't mean the whole arc, just Luffy versus Kuro?
Oh. Sure, although it's tough in any fight that involves Luffy because his power's so goofy that, like, I feel like there's some element of comedy of just even in the frustration of the villain.
But I think that might be actually a good example, though. That might be a good example.
Yeah, it might be
comedy. Yeah.
I'd use my nails, but I've cut them recently. My apologies.
Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was right next to the Barati. Probably could have borrowed a toothpick.
Brilliant. That's something I would really love to see. All right. We're going to fight now. One-on-one. Yes, but let's go to a vacant place so that no one else can hear your screams. It's like, okay, I'm going to go hit up a restaurant. You're going to eat? Ah, yes, I see. You want to be full for a fight. No, I just need to pick out a weapon. Goes and, like, can I get a toothpick? Walks it out there.
Can I get a spork? Okay. Thank you.
No. I need a spoon. Why a spoon, dear cousin? Why not an axe? Because it's dull, you twit. It'll hurt more. Technically, a spoon could be used as a blade.
Can we get a shout out to Villain Goons getting better and better? Compare the officer agents to Pearl and the Cat Brothers from Syrup Village.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, no contest. It's no comparison. Absolutely wonderful. So much better. I love it.
I agree.
Grabs a plastic spork. Fight me. Yeah.
Mihawk's like, I'm never going to block you. I'm just going to parry.
That'll
be enough to have you break your arm. Like
no.
he takes like imagine this. Someone swings their sword right here. This guy takes like a plastic spork, pushes the blade. No, like goes behind and pushes the blade down so hard that his arm gets pulled out of socket or something. Like,
well, no. Mihawk grabs an actual spoon, and then he's like, "Only once you truly listen will you know the truth. There is no spoon." And then Zoro realizes that Mihawk beats him with the concept of a sword.
Oh! What? My brain, it hurts! Nani? Nanado! Oh, okay. Well, that was the thing. Mr. 2 beats every side villain on early arcs. Yes, Mr. 2 is that charismatic just within himself. Yeah, and I'd say the reason why they've gotten better though is it's also that Oda is investing more into the individual arcs themselves, so making the characters, that are actually presented being worthwhile.
Right. What if Mihawk pulls out his giant blade first, just to cut his bread before the fight?
And then he puts that away after eating said bread. Then he pulls out the little dagger. He's like, okay, let's fight.
Yeah.
He's just like, and Zoro be like, the hell? Like, aren't you going to take me seriously? He's like, I am. I don't have any blades shorter than this.
The fact that I forgot about the Cat Brothers and Pearl until we got to that part, versus I could remember all the officers' names and powers says a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
This
bread is worthy of my sword. You are not. Can I offer you an egg in this trying time?
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
Zoro's like, all right, let's get this bread, you know? And Mihawk is just there, just defending his slice of bread as he
No.
eats it,
He's
you know?
defending with a slice of bread, like a dried baguette, and he's just no. But like, okay, and then with
It's
like the
Jason
backstory.
Bourne stuff. You know?
Yeah. Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne. But bread can be really tough to cut sometimes. Indeed.
Yes.
But brings out big sword and shaves the tiny knife smaller with it. Here we go. but then with like the backstory in One Piece, okay? Because the backstory,
You
you
have
can't
to bring up the backstory.
you
yeah.
can't disconnect the backstory from the dreams,
Yep.
right? It's even though the dreams really come to life with Luffy and the whole crew, right?
In the present day, yeah.
Right, in the present day, the kernels of it are seeded back then.
Yep.
And maybe this is just me, but I feel like that's another way of connecting to the audience by basically saying that you get your dreams when you're little, right? You might have a dream from way back when, and it started as something, and maybe it was just a kernel of something, right? Maybe it was so small that you didn't even know to believe in it, so it just sort of stayed there in seed form, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then when someone, but it can stay there for a long time, and it can survive a lot of things.
Sure.
A bunch of people that say it's stupid or whatever, and you don't even really believe in it, yeah?
Yeah.
And then someone else comes along and says, I think that's great. I think that would be
Yeah.
awesome if you went after that dream,
Yeah.
right? They believe in you.
Oh.
And then you're like,
Oh,
you know
it's
what?
so true.
You dare to believe yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start going after it.
Right.
And and maybe you're not the best at it, and that's
Sure.
again why I love Usopp so much.
Mm-hmm.
But you keep going. You keep going.
Yep.
And yeah. And Oda just does an amazing job with his backstories, not just with how he designs them, but also when he uses them, when he brings them into the narrative.
In some ways, this is something that I like about Luffy as a main character. He actually doesn't say that often in the grand scheme of things
That he's going to be king of the
that
pirates.
he's going to be king of the pirates.
Yeah, he doesn't. He really doesn't.
Like, guys, maybe I just have a negative opinion of Naruto in my mind.
Believe it.
Believe it. I'm gonna.
Well, you haven't even seen Naruto.
He wants to
You just
be
know
the
meme.
Hokage, whatever
Yeah,
thing.
He
right?
wants to be president. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But see, the thing is that there's
There's
there's all these ways in which Luffy could be trying to bludgeon over the head of the other characters here with his dream, but he really only tells it to people when they ask him specifically, like, what are you fighting for? What motivates you? What brings you on? He's like, I'm gonna be the king of the pirates.
Yep. And then they laugh.
And then they laugh, and then
they realize, oh wow.
Oh, you're
yeah,
serious.
Yep. Oh yeah. Iroh's quote. While it's always important to believe in yourself, a little help from others can be a great blessing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. We don't need to have we don't need to have Luffy be a character who's constantly trying to prove to all the other characters and to even the villains that he even is capable of doing this. Because in some ways, Luffy's stupidity is like one of the most endearing things about him. That he doesn't really care whether or not something is possible. He's going to go after it. And yeah.
Speaking of catchphrases repeated way too many times, thank you, Bray.
Oh no.
You are Izumi Shinichi, right? Yeah.
It wasn't the
If
worst
she had
thing.
died on the last episode, that would have been so funny. That would have been so funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Different show.
Different show.
Topic.
Different
yeah.
show. Who dis? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Luffy doesn't have to prove anything.
Yep.
Luffy still says it too much, though. I don't know if maybe you're just ahead of us or something, but
Yeah, I mean,
currently where we're at, no, he
given
1,000
chapters, I can imagine it would pile up the number
Oh
of
yeah,
times
yeah.
he says
If you
right?
took it over the course of the whole series, there's probably a lot more times that he says it. But
Yeah. Well said, Psychronia. Luffy doesn't need to worry about proving people wrong. He's going to become Pirate King and will prove them wrong along the way anyway. Yep.
Yeah. That is another good point. Saying it like he believes it versus trying to convince yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
that one of the things that's also kind of endearing about Luffy is because he's a dumb teenager,
Mhm.
he'll say things that aren't really possible, but then the whole nature of the world, the characters, the powers, and all that is doing ridiculous things that aren't possible
Mhm.
from our standpoint of looking at things. So we, as the viewer, get actually hyped up about what would happen. What would happen if this ridiculously dumb,
Uh-huh.
crazy kid actually became the Pirate King? And I think
Yep.
a lot of people are like, dude, like, he's already the king of his boat. Like,
Right.
I mean, Usopp's the captain, so he feels important,
Definitely. Definitely. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
But,
Uh-huh.
I like the idea of this kind of little rubber bouncy ball of chaos just
Yep.
rummaging about the world, just being like, yeah, I'm gonna be the king, and then everyone's just like, ah, you dumb kid with the dream.
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah, what about it? You
Mhm.
want to fight me, or you want?
Yeah. You messing with my friends, I'll clobber you.
Yeah.
And one other thing, so on, like, I know we're not talking about Naruto, but on the topic of the comparison of the dream of the main characters, right?
Sure.
There's the fact that Hokage of that the Hidden Leaf Village or whatever is, or no, is I can't even remember. It was a long time ago, but with Naruto they took the aspect of the underdog, right, where he is trying to convince himself, right, and that's a different kind of catharsis, right, where he's trying to convince himself, and then eventually other people kind of come up alongside him, and and then he doesn't have to be convincing himself as much anymore because he's getting that positive influence from other people. Whereas in One Piece we're seeing Luffy be that positive influence for everyone else.
Yes.
And it's something,
I think that's so refreshing
because
personally.
it is not at all something that is relatable, right? Like, I mean, sometimes we're able to be like that, but in some ways you could say that Naruto is a more relatable character than Luffy, but Luffy's the character that we always wanted to have as a friend, right?
Sure.
We would absolutely follow Luffy wherever he wanted to go.
This crazy idiot, we'd follow him for sure. At the very least, to just put his his crazy antics on our social media, or
right, exactly. But the idea that he would also believe in our dreams enough that it would be absolutely magnetic. There would be no question about wanting to be around him, because when being around him, then maybe we start to believe in our own dreams a little bit more too.
Yeah.
So
Luffy equals Erwin confirmed. I see where you get that connection, though. Yeah.
Luffy equals
Griffith
Griffith confirmed.
Welcome. Luffy equals Griffith confirmed. Oh my god. In that way, Luffy reminds me of Mirio from MHA. Sure. Mirio is one we're still getting more kind of introduced to in the anime right now, so.
But certainly with the Sun Eater thing with
with Tamaki,
with Tamaki,
Mm-hmm. Oh, the Reiko says it works pretty well, actually. Okay.
No.
All right. Okay. Very cool. Very cool.
So, Jacob, did you like your Leto Joker emote? To say
what?
So I don't know if you saw some of the
cursed emotes.
The cursed, emotes.
But which one was the Leto?
I don't know. One of the cursed ones.
Oh, you're not a manga reader, right? Oh, okay, gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. I had one too. Oh crap! I must not have noticed, or it was so cursed I already purged it from my short-term memory.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just like. But
see, these are the things we're passionate about.
Right.
He wants to get into genetic engineering.
I did want to do that before.
And this is my dream. I just play Ultimate Frisbee.
Well, no, but here's another way of thinking about it. Luffy reminds people of dreams, things that they long ago forgot. Right.
Yeah.
And in the same way, I remind you of Sho Tucker.
Sho Tucker's dream was just to live a quiet, peaceful life.
That's right.
With, ease of convenience, stipends coming in on a monthly basis, Yep. And, it was a little loud. So, I mean, they had to go. I mean, that's just what happens sometimes. It is what it is. Pax, what details do you guys remember about devil fruits by now?
that there can be form changing ones, and then there's usually just like the one form or the two forms, the regular form and the changed form.
You eat them and then you lose the ability to swim.
Right, because water saps your power or whatever. That there's the metal things and whatnot that simulate like the ocean water or whatever effects on
yes,
on devil fruit people.
Right. Forgot about those. Yeah.
Although that's actually a good point. What if someone just took like a squirt gun, or like a spray bottle, right? Or like a mist machine, a fog machine, right? And loaded up like ocean water into it. Would that still work?
All of them are probably now freaking out going to the manga spoilers, and they're just like,
guys.
How did he figure out about the guy that shows up in chapter 720?
Like, Luffy had the thing with water to go up against Crocodile. Who's to say that someone else will just put salt water in there?
Sea Prism Stone. That's right.
Sea Prism Stone. Right. Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Death by Fog Machine.
I'd listen to that band. Like, that sounds like a band.
Death by Fog Machine.
Yeah, we are Death by Fog Machine. Then the fog machine comes out.
We are Sex Bomb. We hate you. Please die.
We are.
What is it that they say?
Well, I was thinking of literally the band Sex Pistols, and then they just and then you just start blah, 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 just shooting people in the eye. Yeah, that's dark. All right. Favorite characters in One Piece. Sorry in case that was already asked. I just joined. We're talking specifically about the Straw Hat crew right now. So between Luffy, Zoro, Nami, Usopp, Sanji, and Chopper, I think I have to pick Luffy. I have a very positive association with the backstories of Nami and Chopper specifically. I think theirs are the best, just as far as backstory kind of stories go. Chopper specifically being one that just absolutely moved me to no end. But I think Luffy is a character that is very very fun to have as the main character.
Cool. Yeah, Luffy's probably my second favorite character, but my favorite character is Usopp, and my favorite arc is the Arlong arc. Yeah, this arc is the runner up, but man, that just, it ripped me up. It ripped me up.
Death by Fog Machine, Lost Children arc, TLDR. Good job.
Wow. Would evaporating seawater be the equivalent of poison gas? Luffy just starts gasping and crawling on the ground.
That'd be terrifying.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Robin's tentacle powers are super OP.
Oh yeah.
Yes, those are absolutely ridiculous.
Yep.
As far as tentacle powers go, that's some that's busted.
Because the thing is, it's tentacle powers that can come from anywhere. Think about that. And it's not like there's a limit. Like if it was something like she can only do like 8 at a time or something, right? Then it's like, oh, okay, there you go. No. She can just do it.
Yeah. It's also the best sex fruit ever. God damn it, Vraco.
I mean, he's not wrong.
I mean, you're right. He's not wrong. Yeah. But he still has to deal with elbows being limited in the way they move.
No, because you can have the hands come out of anywhere.
But then you can't move here. It's just
no. But who's to say they're basically portals? So you don't have to.
I just made the motion.
Yeah.
Figured it out.
Yep.
I am. Yes. Yeah. Yep. There we go. Yep. I saw someone say Caleb is contractually obligated. Caleb is forced under a voice acting contract to promote Luffy as his favorite. Well, I would say the same for Jacob, but it's not the case for either of us. I think we're very
it worked out very
serious
well.
About
it worked out very well with which character we're voicing.
As a reminder, she said any body part.
Oh
no! Wait, does that mean if you wounded the hands that were coming out of
it would
people,
wound all of them?
Would it wound her?
I don't think so. I think she's actually creating the body parts. But yeah, unlimited booby works, or potentially even kinkier.
You're an
even
adult.
lewder.
Did you say booby? Like
yes, indeed.
Put your glasses on. Thank you so much for the tier 1 sub for 6 months in a row. Well, good time for the 6-month notification. Robin Hentai Talk.
Oh boy.
We talk about dreams in One Piece.
Okay, actually,
And then we're like,
No.
Robin's hands doing specifically this motion.
no. Here's the real question. If Robin controls them, then that means she controls them, right? So the inputs from them go to her brain.
See, here we go. Elwin5 says that Robin got cut when the hands at the gate were attacked.
Gotcha. Okay.
That makes it not as overpowered as I thought.
Does that mean that she could theoretically masturbate like 100 times at the same time?
He said it. He asked it. He said it.
I'm just curious. Like, Zahando.
Zahanzo.
Yes. Jacob. I'm just saying. I wasn't joking when I said best sex.
Kira would love her.
Unlimited orgasm works.
Kira would love her. Oh my god.
Oh boy. I've seen this plot point. Wait. I've seen this plot point in some dojin somewhere. Oh,
God
why am I not
damn it.
surprised?
Someone said something up here that was really good. I'm trying to find it now because dang it.
It's all lewd right now.
It's all lewd. I can't find it.
Yeah.
You're not thinking big enough, Jacob. She can sleep with 100 men and women at the same time and feel it all.
Oh, right. Wait, but would that mean she would get all the STDs? Could she get pregnant then with 100 kids at the same time?
Oh my god.
I mean, theoretically, she could just create the body parts somewhere else for the... Wait, no. These are the real questions, chat. These are the real questions. This is all very scientific.
This is how podcasts work, though. This is like how you're like, yes, we have a goal, we have a dream. We're going to talk about One Piece and dreams specifically. Jacob's like, but hentai, like. Yes, but Rule 34. So, if there is
how far does it really go?
If there's a podcast that exists, that means there is going to be a porn version of it. Jacob,
first your brain goes to Gum Gum Dick Sprinkler. Now this, Jacob, you need help.
Oh my god, what have I stumbled into?
Wait, if she's pregnant, can she like replicate it and create clones of her offspring? That's actually a...
Robin breaks the rules of entropy.
If she were to give birth in multiple places at once, would it actually create multiple children? Or could she pull the baby out alone? Probably. Y'all have some issues. Always the One Piece streams. That's true. That's true.
I'm sorry, One Piece is just weird like this sometimes. So,
yep.
like, these theories are not big brain, they are big dong.
Oh boy.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah.
Grasses, yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, ask Oda. Maybe he will answer.
Okay,
there's
Oda.
still time,
Scientific.
Jacob. There's still time. You can literally send in a letter and be like, okay, so Oda, theoretically talking.
I've drawn a diagram for you.
Oh my god.
For easy reference.
No. Oh my god.
Jacob's like, I don't need sleep, I need answers.
I can't wait for the bros to elude some future fruit powers. Or future fruit powers. I mean...
Oh boy.
Alright.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure it all exists in fan fiction. Like...
Imagine she needs to concentrate a little bit to use her powers. Giving birth tends not to allow that.
But that's less fun because you also need concentration. You tend to lose concentration when you're orgasming. So, you know... But
Anyways, so while Jacob has many dreams about where One Piece will go in its future plot lines and such, what I would personally really like to see with all these characters in their dreams is to have moments where their dreams are threatened to never be able to be fulfilled. This is one of my favorite things about characters that have dreams in general. But since you have a cast with a dream specifically, we can have moments happen where all their dreams, or at least one of their dreams, are called into question, and it makes them have to bring it up of, guys, we can't have this fail, we can't have X happen, because otherwise my dream falls apart.
And how would they do that? Because the thing is, because they can totally do that. The question is, how do they make the conflict feel real? Because if they ever get to the point where they're like smashing dreams, like really, right, then it's not One Piece anymore. So
no, I'm saying as a conflict.
Right,
obviously.
no, exactly, right. And so how that would be handled in a way so that it is a conflict without truly going there. Like, yeah. I don't know.
I think it's
it'll be awesome when it does.
I think it's rather easy though to see how it would work though. You basically just have a moment where a character basically is just like, oh yeah, the all blue's that way. But in order to get that, you have to have the very specific compass thing there.
Oh, yeah.
And
you better stop me before I poison the all blue. There you go.
And it just gets destroyed.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, exactly.
The turn from pervy to serious, Jacob. I can do it in 0.2 seconds.
What's your favorite character to voice on the stream? Well, obviously, it's Hachi, the greatest explorer of the land. I love loving Hachi that's talking to people like this in other places. If you can't understand what I'm saying, then you must be racist or something.
Usopp is a ton of fun. Crocodile was a lot of fun in the last stream. I loved him.
No, obviously it's Mr. 2.
Apart.
Obviously it's Mr. 2 of Reikos. I'm joking. That specifically that I get to just do the dumbest voice for Hachi that's actually just not... I don't really enjoy Hachi's as much as that. But Mr. Tubong Clay having the just... It's my Okama way. Yes, and finding out that in the sub he actually does sound like that. Like I actually kind of nailed the swan. I'm a swan voice, you know. I sound like this. Wah. It's not like honking. It's not wah wah Ouija. It's
right.
Wah. You know, I'm a Mr. Tubong Clay.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I would say Usopp is my favorite regular, but there's but there have been a few
of the
of all the people we voiced. I don't know
all the characters.
Like Patty is a real
Patty.
Yes. Welcome, Squidface.
Welcome, Squidface.
Yeah. Like Patty is a real. Oh, the mayor. Yes. I'm not gonna submit to the likes of you. Oh, man. Yeah.
Oh, man. Wait, Weird Bros 001, 500 bits. Thank you so much. I find it really funny you guys both gave Robin 2 out of 5 on Rate Your Waifus #1, and now so much love.
I mean, she's pretty great.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we didn't know what her powers were.
To be fair, judging any of the judging a lot of the characters in One Piece based on their character designs is doing them an incredible disservice.
Yes.
So,
because most of them...
For some of them, you can.
Yes.
For some of them. But for most of them, I would say...
the clown.
Buggy?
Buggy is amazing.
Buggy's fantastic.
Buggy's an amazing design.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Also, Jacob, your Rui Lines post is blessed. Glad you appreciated that.
Yeah, you guys need to rewatch your waifu videos after 5 years when you've watched all the shows.
Sure.
Oh, good point. Yeah. Good idea, yeah. They rated Mr. 2 also, right? What did they score? Oh, we rated Mr. 2 on the waifus?
Oh, wait. No, I think I remember. I seem to recall Mr. 2's leg hair.
Oh!
I seem to recall Mr. 2's leg hair.
We did!
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're definitely not going to go back and watch it now because, spoilers and whatnot, yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, dang, that was a thing that happened, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Whoa. Judging on the anime design is even worse, especially the modern
I can imagine.
Designs.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We have not read Kingdom, no.
Nope. I heard the anime was way better though. Like, you know, the manga's not really worth. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I was like, Jacob, I'm pretty sure it's the opposite, but
Yeah.
you can never tell when he's being sarcastic. Bros before starting One Piece. I'm worried I won't be able to take this story seriously with this art style.
That's the point.
Oda.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to wrap things up here, y'all. Thank you so much for coming onto the podcast and talking some good One Piece with us. Yeah. About dreams and some tentacle hand powers.
All the people that are like, Jacob, I was about to kill you for that heresy for a second. Jacob, better.
Like, yeah.
Again, you know,
Agent of Chaos.
had me in the first half, I'm not gonna lie. I love you guys.
Yeah, you
I love
guys
you
are the
guys.
best. You guys
Y'all
are
are
the best.
awesome.
So
Yep.
we got a bunch of streams. Leave a follow if you want to stay up to date on those.
Yes.
We have Tuesday for One Piece
Mhm.
volume readings, reactions,
Volume
and
23
voice
tomorrow.
acting.
Yes, in voice acting. It's going to be ridiculous.
Thursday, Yakuza 0 for Jacob.
With actual 16:9. Finally.
Yes. And then
You
on
can bet on
Friday,
that.
I'll be doing the final Tales of Berseria stream where I'll announce then the game that I'll do to continue on Friday streams. Again, these are all at 3 p.m. Pacific time. And of course,
Mhm.
Monday, podcast again for that. And then there are sporadic Jedi Knight Fallen Order
Mm-hmm.
games. I
Yep.
don't think it's Jedi Knight. I think it's just Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are happening too. And they're pretty awesome. So check out, yeah. Those.
Also, yes, so I wrote a sci-fi novel called Battle Lines, available on Amazon. Link in the description of all our videos. It's great, hardback and ebook. But also on the Discord,
Also,
someone has been writing an ongoing Battle Lines fanfic, which has been quite the ride. So, yeah.
yeah,
Make sure to check that out in Battle Lines spoilers.
it's already a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I don't know how to end this one, Jacob. So I'm just gonna have you start talking about some stuff.
Okay, cool. While you do something. All right.
Yeah.
So I have a story to tell y'all, okay? So fairly recently, I commissioned some art for one of my D&D parties, right? You know, pretty basic art, nothing too crazy, but the person was doing like a sale, you know, to like raise money quickly for something because they were short on bills or whatever. So I commissioned a bunch of art. Now, because of the details of how it worked, I ended up actually having one extra piece of art that I had commissioned, right? So I was like, what am I going to do with this extra piece of art? I got an idea, and that idea got turned into a reality. In the Domestic Girlfriend Spoilers channel, we had talked semi-seriously about actually commissioning some fan art for Domestic Girlfriend as a crossover with Battle Lines. And I am very pleased to say that that has now actually happened. If you go into the Domestic Girlfriend Spoilers channel,